Hello Virgos! Welcome to your 2024 overview horoscope. In this video, I'll be going over a bunch of the big transits happening in 2024. I'll be explaining what to expect and offering some do's and don'ts for each part of the year. 2024 main events include Pluto's back and forth in Capricorn and Aquarius, with the final ingress into Aquarius at the end of the year, and Jupiter will conjoin Uranus in Taurus before Jupiter changes signs and enters Gemini, bringing some luck and expansion into new house topics, which are good for you. We'll get into that. And it will square Saturn in Pisces. And also, I will discuss both spring and fall eclipse season for y'all. As a reminder, I recommend you look at your rising sign or you listen to your rising sign, but sometimes people find value in looking or listening to their sun and moon signs. Astrology is a form of divination after all. So let's hop right into it. Pluto enters Aquarius on January 20th, and this is the second time Pluto has entered your sixth house. The first time was in March of 2023. If you want to look back at your calendar, your journal, your emails to see what was happening in March 2023, you'll get an idea of what to expect in January of 2024. Either way, get ready for some transformative changes in your daily routines, in your work environment, and with your health. So let's break down some tangible things you can expect in January, at the end of January, with it entering your sixth house. Your daily habits and your daily routines might go through some sort of major change, making your day-to-day life a bit more efficient, possibly. So a routine overhaul is possible. Also, you can expect transformations at work, which could include changes in your role, new responsibilities, or different ways of collaborating with coworkers, some sort of workplace shift. Some sort of deep dive into your health is possible. Maybe you adopt new wellness practices, you get a new doctor, or you decide to address some sort of long-standing health issue that you've been working through. So a health focus exists as well. If you have pets, there may be changes in how you care for them, or maybe you're considering a new addition to the pet family. A pet care or pet revamp is possible. And the way that you handle stress or conflicts at work might evolve also with Pluto here, maybe leading to more effective problem solving. Dealing with workplace challenges could be coming up with Pluto here. Dealing with power dynamics and control dynamics within your workplace is possible with Pluto here. Pluto enters your sixth house, and Pluto, the power dynamic guy, moves into your daily life. So something to be aware of. And here are my recommended do's and don'ts for the beginning of the year. I recommend you do adopt new habits. This is a great transit to start new routines or new diets or new regimens that improve your overall well-being. You're supported in that. I also recommend you do stay open to any new work methods. Embrace new ways of working and embrace changes to your workplace when Pluto enters your sixth house. It could lead to more productivity or satisfaction. Maybe it could be like new things that you have to do at work, or it could be someone comes into your workplace, someone is hired that you don't like, so you quit your job and now you have changes in your workplace because you're getting a new job. There's different ways for this to manifest. So the don'ts I have for the end of January. I recommend you do not ignore health issues at the end of January. Don't ignore stress signals in January. Pay attention to your body. Pay attention to your mind. If you're feeling overwhelmed, take steps to manage your stress better. It's up to you to take care of yourself. Pluto will remind you. It's all about fine-tuning your daily life and your daily work to better align with your needs and what you want to do. So embrace any changes of Pluto in your sixth house, and you'll find yourself on the path to a healthier, more efficient, more fulfilling everyday life over the next 12 years or so. And this brings us to spring eclipse season. And eclipse season is going to be stirring up your second and your eighth house topics. And these are changes that are kind of a continuation of something that came up already in the fall of 2023. So the first eclipse is March 25th, a lunar eclipse at 5 degrees Libra, which is in your second whole sign house, which is your resources and your self-esteem. And you might expect with this eclipse to have a financial overhaul of some kind. There's a lot happening with your personal finances with these eclipses. You could be assessing how you earn and how you spend money. You could be rethinking physical possessions, like decluttering, upgrading, changing your approach to shopping. And you can also expect shifts again with your dietary habits. The second house rules food. That counts as a resource. The way that you approach food, the way that you approach lifestyle, maybe it aligns more with your values after this. And how you value yourself and how you work through your self-esteem and how that's tied to your finances could be undergoing a transformation. And then we have an awkward, wonky 2 weeks between March 25th and then the next eclipse, April 8th, a solar eclipse at 19 degrees Aries in your 8th whole sign house, which is about shared resources and transformation and deep emotional things. So this eclipse could bring significant developments in shared resources, like joint accounts that you have with someone else, partners dealing with inheritances, something like that. You could also find yourself addressing debts or loans more effectively, restructuring them or clearing them even. And you could be doing a lot of work with emotional baggage or your mental health, possibly through therapy is supported, but self-reflection, journaling, or reading self-help books is all possible with this eclipse too. And if you have a partner, if you're in a partnership, your partner's financial situation might undergo some changes, which affects you as well. Also, Mars will be conjoining Saturn in your 7th house around this time, so you could be experiencing some sort of challenges in partnerships with a partner or with a bestie. Some sort of challenges with another person is possible during these eclipses at this point. Something that makes you feel stuck between a rock and a hard place, something that slows you down, something that says no. That's what Mars conjoining Saturn is like. So my recommended do's and don'ts for this time of year include, let's talk about the do's. I do recommend you declutter, you donate. It's a perfect time to go through your stuff. If you haven't used it in a year, maybe someone else can. So clear out and clutter and donate all that you want to sell or what you don't need. I also recommend you fine tune your investments and your savings. It's a prime time to review and adjust any investment strategies, savings plans, trust funds. Make sure that they are aligning with your current financial goals and needs. And I also recommend you do start or continue therapy. If you've been thinking about therapy or you're already in it, this is a great time to dive deep. It can be very helpful with working through any of the personal baggage or mental health stuff that might come up with these eclipses. What I don't recommend you do, I recommend you don't ignore or overlook insurance or warranties. Before you declutter, check if any of those items have warranties or are insured. You don't want to accidentally toss something valuable or covered. I also recommend you don't ignore, just in general, financial paperwork. Like keep up on top of any important financial documents, especially stuff related to taxes, loans, shared resources. It is tax season around this time, so it is making sense as to why that would be stressful. And so with these houses in the spotlight, it's a good time to be smart about your stuff and your cash in general. Clear out what you don't need, focus on getting financially healthier, and stay in sync with any financial concerns. So these eclipses are a great time to streamline your finances. And this brings us to the end of April-ish. April 20th, Jupiter conjoins Uranus at 21 degrees Taurus. At the same time, Taurus season begins. Interesting. But Jupiter will be conjoining Uranus in your 9th house. So you'll be in for an exciting time of growth and unexpected opportunities, especially in areas that expand your mind, expand your worldview, give you different perspectives. You might stumble upon a unique educational opportunity. So unexpected travel plans, breakthroughs in spiritual understanding. This is, sudden insights, aha moments, changes to your spiritual beliefs are possible. And new interests in mysticism or the occult is possible. You might find yourself deeply interested in astrology, mysticism, or other esoteric studies at this point with maybe a mentor that comes through or something like that. So something expanding your mind unexpectedly, April 20th. So here are my recommended do's and don'ts for this time of year. Do, Embrace learning opportunities. Be open to unexpected courses, workshops, or just learning experiences in general. This will lead you to exciting new paths. I also recommend you do explore different cultures. If travel opportunities come up, embrace them. Exploring different cultures will definitely offer valuable perspectives for you at this point. What I don't recommend you do is dismiss unconventional ideas. Keep an open mind. Keep an open mind to unconventional or new age concepts. This is a good time for exploration, not closed-mindedness. I also recommend you don't overlook practicalities within travel situations. So while you are embracing those travel opportunities, don't forget to handle, the practical aspects of it, like budgeting or itinerary planning. This conjunction in your 9th house is about embracing new or unexpected things with learning, with spirituality, or with exploring and broadening your horizons in general. I do recommend you take psychedelics. Take a journey with your mind. Read books. Take a journey with your mind in that way. It's an exciting time for personal growth and mental growth, so stay open to what the universe throws your way. And this brings us to May, when Jupiter enters Gemini, May 25th, and it will immediately trine Pluto in Aquarius. So Jupiter will enter your 10th house and form a trine with Pluto in your 6th house. And we are looking at some pretty cool developments in your career and your daily work life. So you could see some significant growth in your career at the end of May. The thing, too, about Jupiter is that it will enter Gemini and it will be there for the next 12 months. So from the end of May 2024 to the end of May 2025, Jupiter will be here and we could take advantage of these vibes. So you could, again, career advancements are possible over the coming 12 months. Your daily work life might become more efficient or more enjoyable thanks to some new methods or new changes in your routine. So positive changes in your work routine is possible. You're likely going to be able to balance between your job demands and your personal health a bit more. A health and work balance is easier. And you can expect improved dynamics with coworkers with this transit, or authority figures, improved dynamics with authority figures. And your work environment will get a lot more supportive. Strengthened professional relationships are possible. So here are my recommended do's and don'ts for the next 12 months with Jupiter here. I do recommend you aim high with your career goals. This is the time to go for big career moves, apply for a promotion, pitch a big idea, start a project you've been dreaming about. Jupiter here is, aim high. I also recommend you adopt new routines or new habits that enhance productivity and your well-being at work specifically. So implementing healthy work habits I support as well. That could be getting a new work computer. That helps your work habits. I recommend you don't pass up any opportunities having to do with your career. Keep your eyes open for new chances to advance in your profession. If an opportunity knocks, be ready to answer at the end of May or in June. Also, don't shy away from the spotlight. This is your time to shine for the next 12 months. Don't be afraid to take up space, and don't be afraid to assert your presence in professional settings or with social media if you want to start becoming an influencer or something. You will be a lot more visible with Jupiter boosting your 10th house. You're going to be in a great position to make impressive moves with whatever career, visibility, roles you want to take on, and work will be running a bit more smoothly than usual. So you can embrace these opportunities to grow and shine in your professional life for the next 12 months. It's very exciting. And this moves us on. We have a fairly quiet June and July, but in August, Mars squares Saturn. So Mars will be in your 10th house and it will square Saturn in your 7th house. And this is just an overall challenging aspect. Since both houses are angular in your chart, the impact of this square will be pretty direct and in your face, essentially. Not something happening in the background, but something happening on stage. So, adjusting to demands at work while ensuring your relationships don't suffer could be something coming up. Finding ways to manage a demanding project without missing important family events, something that you're going to have to work through. Struggles in balancing your career and your personal relationships could come up. Navigating difficult dynamics with a boss, an authority figure, or a personal relationship could be possible. Challenges with these people. Work-related stress could come up. The stress from work might even spill into your personal life. And overall, you might be reassessing how your career ambitions align with your personal life priorities. Maybe you're reconsidering a job change or how you approach your work-life balance. It's kind of like we have Jupiter moving into your 10th house and bringing expansion to your career, where Mars and Saturn they rein you in a little bit, and they make sure that what you're doing is foundational. They make sure what you're doing can last and is done properly. And this is just like regular life, right? You start a new thing and then you have to work out the kinks of the new thing. That's kind of Mars and Saturn square. So what do I recommend for this time of year? I recommend you are patient. Be very patient in August, whether it's with a challenging project or a tough phase in a relationship. Patience will be key. Understand that things are going to take longer to resolve in August. It's just going to be slower going. So be prepared also to make hard decisions or be prepared to do hard things in August. This month might require you to tackle difficult tasks or make tough choices, either at work or in your relationships. So what I don't recommend you do is ignore signs of burning out. Keep an eye on your stress levels in August. If you're feeling overwhelmed, it's important to take steps to address that before anything escalates. I also recommend just don't schedule any big events in August if possible. Try to avoid planning any major events or making any significant commitments in August because the additional stress might complicate things. Like with this Mars-Saturn square, the key is to find a workable balance between, your professional life, the roles you take on, and how you're interacting with other people. Adjusting and compromising throughout August will help you navigate this period without any major conflicts. But overall, it's going to make things slower. It'll slow things down. It'll tell you no. It'll bring some obstacles and challenges that you need to work out some kinks and things. And at the same time, Jupiter will be squaring Saturn. Around August 19th is when it exacts. This is the first time this square is going to happen. It'll happen again due to a retrograde, but it'll happen again in December. So Jupiter and Mars are essentially conjoining in August, which expands Mars's energy and drive and impatience. And it makes, kind of a let's do it now kind of energy. And it's very scattered as well in Gemini. But Jupiter, and on one hand, it makes things bigger, so it can make Mars bigger. But on the other hand, it can kind of soften things in a way because it's a benefic. It can make things a little bit lighter or a little bit more less heavy, less stuck in the mud kind of energy, more let's try this, let's try that kind of vibe. So career opportunities taking a center stage will be possible, and it makes sense with Mars squaring it. Maybe there's an annoying coworker or annoying boss, annoying person that you have to work with while you're doing this project, for example. But Jupiter is in the superior position in this square, Jupiter squaring Saturn. So Jupiter is dominant here. You might be offered a key project or a leadership role, but with that comes dealing with challenges, the Mars square, Being a leader isn't easy. You have to work through the struggle. So I do recommend you leverage career opportunities, and I recommend you schedule quality alone time with people amidst your busy work schedule. And I recommend you don't let your boss rule your life in August. Don't let your focus on your career overshadow the care and attention that's needed in your personal relationships. It is a long-term transit. These are slow-moving planets, so the challenge lies in finding a way to grow professionally with Jupiter and Gemini without neglecting the emotional and relational aspects of Saturn and Pisces. So communication and balance will be key in August, and this moves us to September. September 1st, Pluto retrogrades back into Capricorn, and Pluto will re-enter your 5th house for the final time since 2008. So you'll be entering the final 2 months of profound transformations in your creative expression, in your pleasure, in your joy, and in your personal projects. So Your creative projects or artistic projects are reaching a significant point of transformation or completion by September. And changes in your dating life or the way that you experience pleasure could be becoming more ingrained as well. And your hobbies and your leisure activities, what you do for fun, have likely evolved. And now you're going to be settling into these new forms of enjoyment over the next 2 months. And overall, you've gained a deeper understanding of what truly brings you joy and fulfillment, which is a very useful tool to have through life. So here are recommended do's and don'ts for September. I recommend you do complete any creative projects, like focus on any finishing any ongoing endeavors, artistic or creative. Bring them to a point where you feel satisfied with the outcome over these 2 months. I also recommend you do actively seek out new hobbies, or try new recreational activities in general that might interest you. Do new things, do new funs. I recommend you don't dismiss any new relationship dynamics. Be open to the evolving dynamics in your dating life, for example, especially in how you're connecting to people and how you find pleasure. I also recommend you don't pass up any opportunities for fun September and October. Don't pass up any opportunities to enjoy yourself, and whether that's an invitation to an event or trying something outside your comfort zone. But as Pluto wraps up its final transit through your 5th house for these last 2 months, it will be a period of finalizing the profound changes in your creative expression, with your hobbies, with your personal joy, and you can embrace these changes as they reflect your growth and your newfound understanding of what makes you happy. And this brings us to a couple weeks later, eclipse season begins, fall eclipse season. And this will bring some changes to your 7th and your 2nd houses, but let's talk about the first eclipse. The lunar eclipse, September 17th, is at 25 degrees Pisces in your 7th house of relationships and interactions. And this is the first eclipse in this house of its series. So this eclipse will bring a taste of the endings or of the beginnings with these house themes in your 7th house, and it's conjoined Saturn. So it's a little bit more serious or somber than other eclipses. But this eclipse could bring a new chapter in your relationships, maybe big shifts on how you connect with your partner or close friends. Maybe your relationship gets more serious, or you realize it's time to move on. Fresh starts in partnerships is also possible. If you're single or if you're looking for a business partner, you might bump into someone interesting during this eclipse who could play a significant role in your life for the next 1.5 to 2 years. And then we have a wonky 2 weeks in between eclipses from September 17th to October 2nd, which is when the next eclipse is, the solar eclipse at 10 degrees Libra in your 2nd whole sign house of finances and possessions. So we have a financial revamp happening with this eclipse. You're rethinking how you want to handle money at this point. Better budgeting, new income sources, changing spending habits. And it's a good time to think about what you have and decide what's worth keeping, maybe selling, donating stuff that doesn't fit with you anymore. The recommended do's and don'ts for this time of year for fall eclipse season, I recommend you meet people, you get into relationships, you get married. This is a great eclipse for connecting with new people. If you're ready, dive into a new relationship or consider marriage if it feels right. I also recommend you declutter. Go through your belongings, clear out the clutter. It's the perfect opportunity to get rid of things that you no longer need and simplify your life. I also recommend you don't, while I do say, start new relationships, I recommend you don't jump into new relationships blindly. Take your time to get to know people before making any big commitments or announcements. And I recommend you don't impulse buy. Watch out for splurging on stuff you don't need during eclipse season. It's better to think twice before making big purchases, because overall, eclipse season is about wrapping up one chapter and starting another, especially with relationships and with your financial life. It's a time of change with eclipse season, so embrace that and keep your eyes open and, think things through. And this moves us to November. November 19th, Pluto will re-enter Aquarius for the final time. And as Pluto makes its final entrance into your 6th house, this happened twice before in March of 2023 and January 2024. It will be here until 2043. And again, you have seen this before. So this is more about solidifying these transformations with your daily routines, your work life, and health that have been brewing for the past 2 years. The end of November will provide a good time to firmly establish new daily habits you've been experimenting with, whether it's a fitness routine or a productivity hack of some kind. These changes are here to stay once Pluto's here. You'll be fully stepping into any new roles, or work responsibilities. It's a period that's about settling into any recent shifts at your job. Also, wellness practices that you've been trying out or trying to get into your routine will become more ingrained in your lifestyle if you're doing it at this point. And any changes that you've been making with how you care for pets will solidify, leading to a more stable and effective care routine here. So again, look back at what happened in March of 2023 to get an idea of what to expect at this point. I recommend you do get a new pet, or you do say goodbye to a pet. I know, so sad, but pet transformations are happening here. So the ending of one era and the beginning of another era with pets is possible at the end of November. Adopting new health routines is supported. I recommend you embrace some sort of new exercise plan, a new diet, a new mental health practice, just meditating every day, going on a walk in the mornings, adopt some sort of new health routine. I also recommend you hire help if you need help. Consider getting assistance. Hire a cleaner, hire a plumber, whatever you need to do to work through, to help streamline your daily life. You are supported in that. Just know that there may be power dynamics at play there. I recommend you don't, again, engage in any power dynamics. Avoid getting involved with any power struggles, especially at work or with your daily routine in general. And don't be afraid to change your daily routine. And this moves us to Mars stationing retrograde at 6 degrees Leo in December 6th. Mars will be stationing retrograde in your 12th house, and you'll be stepping into a phase that's all about inner growth and reflection. Mars retrograde in your 12th house is a period marked by introspection, where focus will be turning into your internal landscape. Think of it as a time to pause and dig deep into what makes you tick, especially with past experiences and your overall emotional well-being. So at this point, with Mars retrograde, you might notice old issues resurfacing that need closure, possibly. Past experiences or unresolved issues may come up for reevaluation and closure. And it will be a time of personal reflection. Again, expect a phase where self-discovery and understanding your innermost thoughts will take center stage and healing through that. So here are my recommended do's and don'ts for December 6th for Mars retrograde. For December, I recommend you consider going on retreats or consider traveling. December will be a good time to explore retreats or travels and things that offer a chance for introspection and solitude. Anything that takes you away from your usual routine, your usual self, will give you a new perspective and help you learn. I also recommend you do engage in therapy. This is a retrograde that is ideal for starting or continuing therapy. It helps you navigate your inner journey. It helps you navigate what you don't understand. I also recommend you do embrace alone time. Make the most of opportunities for solitude, to reflect and recharge for this retrograde season until Mars re-enters Virgo. So what I don't recommend, recommend you don't. It'll be wise to hold off on making any major life decisions during this retrograde, especially around December 6th. Your perspective is undergoing significant changes while Mars is retrograde. So specifically December 6th-ish, maybe don't make any big decisions unless you've already been thinking about it for a while. Then it can just be the event that can be the Mars retrograde. But overall, it'll be a key time for internal growth and dealing with deeper aspects of your psyche. And this brings us to the end of December. December 24th will be the second Jupiter square Saturn. And the first time this happened was in August of 2024. So this is the second act. And with Jupiter in Gemini taking the lead with this square, there's a bigger focus on career growth with putting relationships on the back burner. But remember, it's not all work and no play. Either way, expect cool opportunities at work at the end of December. Maybe there's a chance to lead a project or to step up in a way that really gets you noticed, but requires hard work. No matter what, it will require hard work, okay? So I recommend the do's and don'ts here for the end of the year. I recommend you do go for it at work. When career opportunities pop up, grab them. This is your time to shine again here. I also do recommend that you make time for loved ones because you're going to be so busy at work. You're going to need to block out time in your calendar for any family or friend events. You got to keep your connections strong. They help keep you supported while you're shining at work. I recommend you don't, at the end of the year, let work consume you. Keep an eye on your work-life balance. Your job's important, but so are your relationships, and so is your life in general. And don't forget to communicate with your close friends, with your partners. Communication will be key in December. So the square is a bit of a balancing act. You've got this chance to really move forward in your career thanks to Jupiter's influence, but Saturn's reminding you not to neglect your relationships or, your other parts of your life, your work-life balance. So embrace the growth, but keep your relationships in the loop. And that's what we have today, y'all. How do you feel about this upcoming year? Drop a comment and tell me which transits you're looking forward to and which transits you are kind of side-eyeing. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to support the community. And if you want to delve deeper into astrology with me, remember Pisces Fellowship offers personalized weekly and monthly horoscopes. I'm available for one-on-one consultations as well, readings or mentorships. And of course, you're welcome to join the free 9th House Discord server to keep the astro conversation flowing. Thanks so much for being here, friends. I'll see you next time.